You know that feeling, right? The calendar notification pops up for another meeting, and bam, your focus for the day just shatters. It's this chronic problem in the modern workplace. But what if we actually treated it like a real sickness? So today, we're going to diagnose what we're calling reunionitis, and more importantly, we're going to prescribe the cure.
I mean, come on, let's be honest. How many meeting invites have you gotten that might as well have said exactly this? It's kind of like this shared silent joke at work, because we all know it's true. Bad meetings aren't just an interruption anymore. A lot of times they feel like the main thing we do instead of, our actual jobs.
So let's give this sickness a name, reunionitis. And I bet you'll recognize the symptoms. You've got the meeting with no agenda, the one filled with people who can't actually make a decision, and of course, the classic recurring meeting that should have been put out of its misery 6 months ago. It's time for a cure. We always complain about meetings stealing our time. But the real issue, it's so much bigger than that. What if we stopped thinking about lost minutes and started thinking about lost money? Like, what is the actual price tag on that pointless meeting you just left? Okay, let's just do some quick math here. Let's say you have a 1-hour meeting with 6 people, and a pretty conservative estimate for the cost of each employee is about €50 an hour. So, 6 people for 1 hour, that single meeting just costs the company €300. Whoa, suddenly it's not just an annoyance, is this one idea can change everything. Before you click send or accept on that next invite, you have to ask yourself a brand new question. Is this conversation actually worth €300? If the answer is a hard no, then the meeting just shouldn't happen. It really is that simple.
All right, so if we're going to spend that kind of money, we have to get it right. See, the problem isn't meetings themselves, it's that we're using the wrong type of meeting for the job. So let's open up the playbook and walk through the 6 essential types of meetings and, more importantly, how to run them so they're actually effective.
First up, we've got the progress meeting. This is your classic weekly check-in on a project. The whole point is just to quickly align on where things are and figure out what we need to do next to keep the ball rolling. But this is where things very often go very wrong. The big trap here is that soul-crushing go-around-the-room status update, where everybody just reads their to-do list out loud. What a waste of that €300. The fix? It's simple. You make pre-reading mandatory. Share your updates in a doc beforehand. That frees up the entire meeting to focus on the only things that matter, solving problems and clearing blockers. Number 2 is the planning meeting. This is what you do at the very beginning of a new project. Its whole reason for existing is to establish the who, what, and when. You're setting clear goals, you're building a timeline, and you're assigning responsibility. But the number one failure of a planning meeting? It's leaving with some vague, good vibes, but no actual concrete plan. If that happens, you failed. A successful one ends with a list of actions, and every single action has a person's name and a due date right next to it. No ambiguity, no exceptions. Third, and listen, this one is absolutely critical, is the decision-making meeting. This is not for brainstorming. It's not for updates. It has one high-stakes job. You walk into that room with a few options, and you walk out with one final decision. That's it. And this brings us to the golden rule. The most common way these meetings fail is by not having the actual decision maker in the room. So the rule is simple and absolute. If the person with the final say can't make it, you cancel the meeting, period. Don't waste everyone's time and money debating for nothing. Fourth in our playbook is the strategic meeting. This is where you zoom way out. We're not talking about next week's tasks. We're talking about next year's vision. It's all about answering those big where are we going questions for the whole team or even the whole company. The danger here is that these meetings can easily turn into these philosophical clouds of abstract ideas that go nowhere. The goal isn't just to talk about the future, it's to actually shape it. A great strategic meeting connects every lofty idea back down to earth with clear, measurable actions and someone responsible for each one.
Number 5 is probably the most creative meeting in the playbook, the brainstorming session. Its only goal is to generate as many ideas as possible. Wild ideas, safe ideas, weird ideas, obvious ones. The key here is to create a space where there's absolutely zero judgment and zero criticism.
And you know, the easiest way to kill creativity is to shoot down an idea the second it's born. That's why the cardinal rule of brainstorming is to separate the two phases. First, you have a generation phase. All ideas are welcome, anything goes. Only after that's totally done do you switch hats and enter an evaluation phase to sort through them. Never, ever mix the two. And our final meeting type, the post-mortem. This happens after a project is finished, whether you won or lost. It's a structured look back to honestly figure out what worked, what totally broke, and what lessons we can carry forward to the next project so we don't make the same mistakes again.
But this meeting can so easily fall into one fatal trap, becoming a blame game. To stop this from happening, the focus has to be ruthless. No opinions, no I think, no excuses. You focus only on hard facts, data, and evidence to figure out what happened, not who to blame. That's how you actually learn something.
So there you have it. That's the playbook. Now let's wrap this all up with 5 super simple rules that apply to every single meeting you will ever run or attend. Think of this as your new code of conduct, your personal guide to protecting your time. Okay, rule number 1, and this is the big one. Ask yourself if this even needs to be a meeting in the first place. Could a quick email solve it? Next, like we said, if it's a decision meeting, the deciders have to be there, no exceptions. Third, never send a meeting invite without a clear purpose and a desired outcome. What are we doing here? Fourth, respect the clock. Default to 45 minutes or less. And finally, never, ever end a meeting without clarifying the who, what, and when for every single action item. Because, you know, at the end of the day, the goal here isn't just to have better meetings, it's to have fewer meetings. It's about shifting the whole culture to a new mindset. We meet less so we can work more. Just remember that €300 price tag. If a meeting doesn't produce a clear decision or move something forward, it's not just a waste of your time, it's a straight-up waste of money. So I'll leave you with a question to think about. Just pull up your calendar in your head right now. How many inefficient, worthless meetings have you already sat through just this week? And more importantly, using what we just talked about, what's one small change you can make to improve the very next one?